Hey, welcome to Daily Bravo Drama. In this audio, we will be talking about Dorit and PK's nasty divorce battle over a $700 wardrobe, Shannon Beador getting slammed by producers, Stassi Schroeder spilling on her early Vanderpump Rules salary, Janet Caperna doubling down on her drink toss on the Valley, plus casting shakeups and baby news in Atlanta, and Frank Catania Jr.'s gorgeous Portugal wedding. We'll cover everything coming up in this audio.
Hey, this is Delilah.
Hey, this is Safahid.
Welcome to Reality TV Audio Podcast, where we break down the latest in reality TV every day.
Yeah, and just to lay out our mission for you right at the top, our whole goal here is to sort through all this messy behind-the-scenes reality TV news without taking any sides, you know?
Right.
We're really just looking at the facts, offering our opinions on the mechanics of it all, and moving on.
Exactly. And there is just a massive amount of behind-the-scenes maneuvering to unpack in this deep dive, specifically regarding how these stars manufacture the lives you actually see on screen.
Oh, absolutely. And we really have to start with the most extreme example of this right now, the battle of the Beverly Hills bank accounts between Dorit and PK Kemsley. The divorce is getting, incredibly bitter, specifically over the actual cost of being, quote-unquote, camera-ready.
It's wild. Because the financial dissection happening in this court case, it's fascinating. It totally shatters the illusion of that effortless wealth that the show really relies on.
Right.
So the core of the dispute centers on this astronomical figure. Dorit claims that over a 26-month period, she spent roughly $713,000 strictly to remain camera ready for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Wait, $715,000 over basically 2 years.
Yeah. And PK is pushing back aggressively in these court documents. He's stating that Bravo absolutely does not force Dorit to spend that kind of money on, glam squads, jewelry, stylists, designer handbags, any of that.
Because it's a choice, right?
Exactly. He is legally classifying those as her own personal expenses, not mandated business costs.
Let's actually break down that number, because $713,000 over 26 months is, over $27,000 a month just on aesthetics.
Just on looks, yeah.
But if you look closely at her own claims, Dorit noted that she returns or gets credit for a lot of these items when they don't fit or aren't, suitable for a scene.
Right. So
she isn't building this permanent $1 million archive. It's almost like she's operating a high-end personal rental service. You buy it, you wear it once for the camera, you return it, and you cycle the credit.
That's a really good way to put it.
Right. So if she's returning a massive chunk of this wardrobe, I have to wonder if the whole camera-ready excuse actually holds up in family court when they are arguing over, actual realized out-of-pocket financial losses.
Yeah, you're hitting on the crucial distinction here between gross spend and net spend, which is honestly a constant accounting nightmare in reality television.
Oh, sure.
Because the optics of Beverly Hills, they require this continuous, never-repeated rotation of looks. But the mechanics of getting those looks involve heavy borrowing, leveraging relationships with showrooms, and, utilizing store return policies.
So PK's legal argument is actually incredibly shrewd here.
It really is. He's essentially pointing out that you cannot claim a $700,000 gross spend as a mandated sunk business expense if the net reality is, a fraction of that. Or worse, if those heavily subsidized clothes are just being worn off camera for her own personal enjoyment.
Right. He's basically saying she's using the show as an alibi for her personal shopping habits.
Exactly.
And the financial tug-of-war, it's spilling out way past the closet. PK is also alleging that Dorit actually brings in more money than he does, yet she refuses to pay the mortgage on their $8 million home.
Oh, wow.
And she even recently took a European vacation without their kids. Meanwhile, Dorit is actively requesting child support. She's claiming she has the kids 95% of the time, leaving PK with only 5% custody.
Which is a huge disparity.
Yeah, so she's pointing the finger right back, claiming he's the one blowing money on personal expenses instead of just covering the mortgage.
It just perfectly illustrates the jarring clash between the on-screen persona and the legal reality of, baseline operating expenses. On television, the narrative they project is this boundless luxury.
Private jets, endless champagne.
Yeah, massive estates. But when you look at the family court filings, it's a grim fight over who is actually cutting the check to keep the lights on. The discrepancy between the lifestyle they're paid to portray and the reality of their bank accounts is just staggering.
It really is. But, that clash between the polished on-camera illusion and the chaotic reality behind the scenes, it isn't just financial, it's totally behavioral, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because we're seeing literal behind-the-scenes drama erupting in Orange County with Shannon Beador, where the facade completely drops the second the cameras stop rolling.
Which is getting so messy.
So messy. This all started somewhat harmlessly, I guess, with Heather McDonald posting a video on social media mocking Shannon's clumsiness.
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
Right. Heather was basically falling all over her house and pool, joking that it was the Shannon Beador acting class for any housewives in need of a quick storyline.
Right. It was a direct dig at Shannon's tendency to use, like, physical comedy or exaggerated mishaps just to secure screen time.
Totally. And Shannon immediately went on Jamie Kennedy's podcast to fire back. She called Heather obsessed and pointed out the sheer amount of effort it must have taken Heather to spend a whole day filming, editing, and producing a clip solely dedicated to mocking her.
Which is a fair point, honestly.
Right.
But the real bombshell didn't come from Heather's parody. It came from the production side.
Right.
A former producer, Patrick McDonald, chimed in online and completely ripped the curtain back.
Spilled all the tea.
Exactly. He accused Shannon of creating a wildly toxic environment, like screaming and cursing at the production crew, treating them terribly right up until the exact moment the cameras start rolling. Then, he claims, she instantly switches into this tired old performative shtick. He didn't mince words at all. He straight up labeled her a miserable narcissist.
I mean, I do want to throw out a hypothesis here, though. Let me push back on this a little.
All right, go for it.
Reality TV is, by definition, a high-pressure cooker. These cast members are constantly being provoked, manipulated, pushed to their emotional limits for our entertainment.
That's true.
So I'm not saying it's right to scream at a camera operator, obviously, but I have to wonder if snapping into that quote-unquote performative shtick is just a required survival mechanism when the red light goes on. Like, you are hired to be the character, and if you don't deliver the hysterics the network wants, you lose your job. Don't you think the stress is a factor?
I mean, the psychological toll of being a reality star is absolutely undeniable. They're literally paid a premium to be highly reactive.
Exactly.
However, what this producer is highlighting is the stark line between delivering a dramatic performance for the lens and creating a truly hostile work environment for the laborers behind it.
That's fair.
Because there's a massive difference between being a demanding, high-maintenance television character and berating a crew member who's working a 12-hour shift just trying to get good audio. And we have to note that this isn't an isolated rogue accusation either.
Right, there were others.
Yeah, comedian Joel Kim Booster recently echoed a very similar sentiment, calling her a pathetic drunk based on his own experience working with her on a completely different show, Love Hotel.
Oh, wow. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. We also have credible reports that Bravo executives actually had to step in and chastise Shannon for unacceptable behavior toward the filming crew. They reportedly had to explicitly tell her that she cannot use the crew, people who are just there holding microphones and cameras, as punching bags for her anger.
Jeez.
Even her current castmate, Katie Janella, reacted to the producer's claims online with a very telling, implying she's seen it firsthand.
Yikes. I mean, if she is genuinely creating a hostile environment for the crew, it completely explains why she has such notoriously toxic dynamics with her own castmates, too. Which connects directly to Tamra Judge. Tamra just gave us some fresh insight into how she and Shannon operate. She recently teased this massive fight she had with Shannon at the Quiet Woman restaurant while they were filming Real Housewives' Ultimate Girls Trip.
I mean, the setting alone is iconic for their franchise.
It really is. And Tamra explained that the confrontation sparked simply because Shannon was giving her an immense amount of attitude and openly mocking Tamra's outfit. But the more significant takeaway was Tamra publicly labeling Shannon as someone who, quote, holds a grudge forever.
Yet in the exact same breath, Tamra gave an update on the Tres Amigas, the trio of her, Shannon, and Vicky Gunvalson, saying they're actually trying and moving in the right direction.
Right. And I have to ask you about this because why do reality stars like Tamra and Shannon keep falling into the exact same 2 steps forward, 1 step back friendship cycle year after year? It feels like their friendship isn't an actual functioning relationship. It's just a codependent business partnership. Because if they actually resolve their issues permanently, or if they cut ties forever, they lose their built-in screen time.
You've completely nailed the underlying mechanic of reality television friendships. In the real world, a massive betrayal or a persistent toxic grudge would end a relationship permanently.
You would just stop calling that person.
Exactly. But in the reality TV ecosystem, Proximity is legally mandated by their contracts. They are forced to attend the same dinners, go on the same cast trips, sit feet away from each other on the reunion couches.
Yeah, you can't escape.
Right. So the 2 steps forward, 1 step back friendship cycle is actually the most profitable dynamic they can possibly maintain. It generates these endless, unresolved story arcs that guarantee contract renewals.
The friction literally is the product.
Completely. And Tamra is a master of manufacturing that friction. She also addressed some recent claims made by newer cast member Jen Pedranti.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Jen tried to tell Tamra that Heather Dubrow was talking behind Tamra's back, but Tamra completely sidestepped it. She said she didn't trust Jen in that moment, felt like Jen was just trying to stir the pot for camera time, and instead, Tamra went straight to Heather. Now, Tamra confirmed she and Heather are totally great.
Which is a brilliant veteran strategic move. Tamra acutely understands how information is weaponized by rookie cast members desperately trying to secure their place on the show.
Totally. By neutralizing Jen's attempt to start a feud, Tamra maintains her alliance with Heather. Tamra also strategically teased that at the upcoming reunion, it's Vicky and Heather who are going to have the most to answer for, expertly shifting the target off her own back.
It's chess, not checkers with these veterans.
Always.
It's funny, we're talking about all this extreme wealth, million-dollar mortgages, and these massive veteran contracts because, well, I have to give a quick shout out to our listener, Sarah in Chicago. She actually DM'd us today asking a great question. She wanted to know how these stars afford their crazy lifestyles in the early seasons, like before they actually get famous and secure those massive payouts.
That is a great question.
And Stassi Schroeder from Vanderpump Rules just gave us the exact unfiltered answer to that.
It's the perfect transition because Stassi just completely pulled back the curtain on the grim financial reality of season 1.
Oh, yeah, she did.
She revealed that her starting salary for the entire first season of Vanderpump Rules was only $3,500.
$3,500 for the whole season.
Yep. And after taxes and representation fees, she took home roughly $1,000 for months of filming.
That is insane.
It wasn't until season 3 that her pay bumped up to $23,000, which she noted was the very first time she received a check that actually made her feel somewhat proud.
$1,000 for an entire season of television while living in Los Angeles is wild. To me, it reminds me exactly of a tech startup equity model.
Oh, how so?
Well, you are starving at first, right? Doing all the heavy lifting, living on ramen, or in this case, SUR goat cheese balls, and funding your own wardrobe. You're taking on massive personal debt, just hoping and praying that the show becomes a cultural hit so you can eventually cash in on the back end with brand deals and big contract negotiations.
The tech startup analogy is incredibly accurate because they are investing their personal trauma, their relationships, and their reputations as pure sweat equity. It totally shatters the illusion of immediate fame and fortune.
For sure.
And Stassi's evolution is the ultimate case study of this model paying off, but also taking a massive toll. She even reflected on her highly publicized firing, which happened after the Faith Towers incident, and surprisingly admitted she is genuinely thankful she was fired.
Wow, really?
Yeah, she stated it forced her to step out of that toxic bubble, grow up, and become a better person, specifically so she could be a good mother to her daughter, Hartford.
I mean, she definitely seems to be operating in a completely different sphere now. She has her new show, House of Stassi, which features Katie Maloney and Ariana Madix, and they've been utilizing their sandwich shop, something about her as a filming location.
Right.
But don't think she's lost her edge, you guys. She threw some absolutely lethal shade at her former castmate, Shiana Shea, joking that Shiana is the type of person who would show up to Stassi's funeral and somehow make the entire event about herself.
It wouldn't be Stassi without a bit of classic reality TV shade.
Never.
But her growth is evident in her recent business decisions. Stassi revealed she was offered a role on the new spinoff, The Valley, and she turned it down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She explained that she believed in something greater for herself and knew she wouldn't continue to evolve if she willingly threw herself back into that specific chaotic environment.
Which takes an immense amount of confidence when a network is dangling a guaranteed veteran-level paycheck right in front of you.
Absolutely.
She also got very candid about the dynamic with her husband, Beau Clark. She admitted that Beau has felt somewhat emasculated being a stay-at-home dad while the cameras are focused solely on her for this new show. But rather than letting that tension fester into a toxic on-screen storyline, they've actively communicated through it, and Beau is now pivoting to focus on his own passions like golf and his art.
The gender dynamics on reality television are rarely discussed with this level of self-awareness. Especially on shows centered around powerful, high-earning female casts, the male partners frequently struggle to maintain their sense of identity or purpose when their primary function on screen is simply to be a supportive background character.
Right, they just become the plus one.
Exactly. So Stassi and Beau actively navigating that tension off camera, rather than sacrificing their marriage for ratings, is a rare maturity in this genre.
It is, and honestly, Stassi passing on the valley to protect her peace makes complete sense when you look at the absolute chaos her former castmates are currently involved in on that exact show.
Oh, it is a mess.
The dysfunction is off the charts, particularly with Janet Caperna, Danny Bucco, and Jax Taylor. Janet is publicly doubling down on her decision to throw a drink directly at Danny during the finale.
She is showing zero remorse. Janet stated her only regrets about the physical altercation were that she wasn't drinking red wine, heavily implying she wished it would have permanently stained his clothes and that she accidentally made a mess on Brittany Cartwright's patio.
So no apologies.
None. She feels entirely 100% justified in her actions.
Naturally, the reactions from the rest of the cast are violently divided. Luke Broderick immediately called out Janet's massive double standards. Kristen Dout straight up slammed Janet's behavior as diabolical.
Right.
And Lala Kent weighed in, saying she was so angry about the drink toss, arguing that it was fundamentally unacceptable regardless of whatever Danny was saying to provoke her in that moment.
But then you have Michelle Sané stepping in to aggressively defend Janet. Michelle rationalized the behavior by pointing out that she herself threw wine at her ex-husband, Jesse Lally, when they were navigating their bitter divorce.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Michelle's core argument is essentially that when emotions are running high and you are deeply frustrated, hurling a beverage at someone is just a natural occurrence.
Okay, I really have to challenge Michelle's defense here because it feels like we are looking at an environment where physical retaliation has simply become a normalized communication style. I mean, out in the real world, if you throw a drink in a coworker's face during an argument, that is considered battery and you are getting arrested or fired.
Oh, 100%.
But within this specific friend group, Michelle is defending it like it's just a passionate exclamation point at the end of a sentence. Has throwing wine just become accepted?
It is a textbook example of how the isolated bubble of reality television completely distorts standard social norms. Because drink throwing has been a highly produced, iconic staple of Bravo programming for nearly 2 decades, the cast members themselves have subconsciously recategorized it.
Right.
They no longer view it as a physical assault. They view it as a dramatic gesture required by the genre. They are operating entirely under the rules of television conflict, completely detached from the rules of polite society.
It's wild to watch them justify it, and the blurred lines don't stop at the drink tossing. Lacey Nicole also jumped into the fray, heavily criticizing Danny Bucco's behavior when he's been drinking, specifically condemning the aggressive way he spoke to his wife Nia and to Lala Kent.
Yeah, that was definitely a huge talking point.
And if we want to talk about blurring personal and professional lines, look at Jax Taylor. He recently completed a stint in rehab and is now reportedly dating his own publicist, Lori Krebs.
Stassi actually commented on this development as well, bluntly calling the relationship fully insane.
I mean, she's not wrong.
No, she's not. She even threw some shade at Lori, noting that people in their circle have always felt weird about her. When a reality star starts dating the person whose literal job is to manipulate their public image, it adds an entirely new, deeply cynical layer of chaos to the group dynamic.
You literally no longer know what is a genuine romantic connection and what is just a calculated PR strategy.
Exactly.
That completely blurred line between what is acceptable, what is insane, and what is just a PR stunt is exactly why network casting decisions are in such chaos right now. Let's shift and look at what is happening down in Atlanta, because the casting shakeups for season 18 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta are intense.
The network is reportedly scrambling. According to multiple sources, Bravo is actively trying to negotiate getting NeNe Leakes back on the screen for the upcoming season, realizing they just really need a massive veteran presence.
Wow, NeNe coming back would be huge.
Huge. Meanwhile, the new contracts have gone out, and there are some brutal casualties. Shamea Morton was reportedly not offered a contract to return, while Kelly Potter did receive an offer to come back.
Well, even though Shamea didn't get that contract renewal, she definitely ensures she went out with a massive bang. On the season 17 finale, she used her final moments of airtime to announce that she and her husband Gerald are expecting a baby via surrogate.
Right under the wire.
Literally.
Yeah.
And the baby announcements didn't stop there. In the preview for the upcoming reunion, Pinky Cole confirmed that she is also pregnant with her 4th child, due this December.
Pinky's announcement, true to form, came packaged with a heavy dose of family drama. She revealed that her mother was absolutely furious upon hearing about the pregnancy.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. But Pinky seemed to brush the tension off, even joking on camera that she might just name the new baby Bravacia.
Okay, I have to debate the psychology of that joke with you because I can't tell if joking about naming her unborn child Bravacia, like as a literal homage to the Bravo network, is just a quick, humorous defense mechanism to deflect from how angry her mom is, or if it is actually the ultimate calculated power move to secure her contract for next season. Like, look how loyal I am.
I mean, it is brilliantly likely a combination of both. Using humor to deflect familial tension is a classic reality TV trope. But more importantly, these stars are acutely, painfully aware of who signs their paychecks and what kind of loyalty the network demands.
That's true.
Acknowledging the corporate entity that elevated you to fame, even in a jest regarding your own child, demonstrates a profound awareness of the ultimate reality TV currency, which is major life milestones. Babies, weddings, and divorces are the ultimate bargaining chips for airtime.
She's proving she is the ultimate company woman.
Without a doubt.
Speaking of major life milestones serving as reality TV currency, I really want to end this deep dive on a genuine celebration that somehow managed to feel authentic despite all the cameras. Dolores Catania's son, Frank Jr., just got married, and the details are absolutely stunning.
It was such a beautiful event. Frank Jr. married Nicole Pericho in a lavish ceremony in Portugal's Douro Valley. Beautiful. Yeah. The location holds a lot of weight, especially considering they originally got engaged at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City, which was highly publicized. So this destination wedding was a massive, highly anticipated event for the Real Housewives of New Jersey extended universe.
And the aesthetics were incredibly dialed in. They held a traditional Catholic ceremony, followed by a welcome boat party cruising down the river. The entire elaborate weekend was planned by Joanne Grigoli.
And the fashion was amazing.
Oh, exactly what you would expect from this crew. Frank Jr. wore a custom suit from Michael Anger's Bespoke out of NYC, and Nicole walked down the aisle in a gorgeous gown from White House Bride.
But the detail that really stands out amidst all that high-end production value happened at the reception. They actually had the old 1980s television show Miami Vice playing silently on a projector in the background, simply because it happens to be their absolute favorite show to watch together at home.
I love that so much. It's like, you know, a director leaving a deeply personal Easter egg in a massive $100 million blockbuster movie.
Yes.
You have this highly produced, elegant, luxury destination wedding that is being heavily documented, but projecting Miami Vice on the wall grounds the entire event. It strips away the pretense and makes the spectacle feel intimate and unique to their actual relationship.
It is the perfect encapsulation of the strange reality these individuals navigate daily. Their entire lives are spectacular events, constantly styled, lit, and documented for public consumption. Yet they still actively search for those small, authentic touchstones, like a retro cop show on a projector, to remind themselves of who they really are when the cameras finally tower down.
Exactly. And honestly, that brings us to our final thought for you to chew on as we wrap up. We've spent this entire deep dive exploring how the genre completely blurs the line between a genuine personal milestone and a calculated production spectacle.
It's quite a spectrum.
Think about the whiplash of what we just covered today. We went from Dorit arguing in a court of law that a $700,000 wardrobe is a mandatory business expense to cast members weaponizing their own pregnancies as season finale cliffhangers, all the way to a lavish European destination wedding that serves as a beautiful, highly curated backdrop for a storyline. At what point does their real life end and the television production begin?
It is the defining, unsolvable puzzle of the entire reality television ecosystem.
It really is, and the line between reality and production is only getting blurrier. But wait until you hear the latest on the shocking summer house split between Kyle Cook and Amanda Batula. We will be diving deep into that chaos next time. Thank you so much for joining us for this audio.
We appreciate you taking the time to listen and analyze this with us.
Until next time, remember, even when the court documents show the bare bones of a story, the diagnostic waters of reality television are always, always murky. See you next time.